Hey everyone. I feel like one of the hardest jobs that requires a lot of attention is being a detective, especially when doing an interrogation. Because there's videos I've seen where one simple detail a witness reveals completely changes the focus of a case onto another person, most commonly themselves, with a very tiny fraudulent slip. On the other hand, there are times where the person being interrogated is incredibly thick-headed and basically reveals that they did it with plenty of evidence. At which point, the interrogation goes from trying to find a suspect to just getting them to admit it and make the whole process much easier. But for the cases that happen in much smaller towns, and there isn't a lot of manpower at the police station, there's more of a need to get as much evidence as possible. Thankfully, like I said in the beginning, all it takes is one small detail to change the direction of the case.
At police headquarters, 65-year-old retired Jay Roth arrives seeking assistance. His pressing concern is the disappearance of his 53-year-old friend, Linda Riley. The mystery began the day
I really felt like it was going to be a woman, just from the thumbnail and what the guy looked like.
Her neighbour decided to check on her. The neighbour found Linda's house unlocked, but Linda was not there. Upon arrival, the police noted unusual signs at the scene. Linda's phone and purse were left in the house. Items she typically carried.
Damn, she was rich. God damn.
This detail suggested an abrupt departure or possible foul play. The Springfield Police Department,
I love that foul play.
factors, issued a missing.
I love this British narrator. He has a good voice. Foul play.
Roth was with her 2 nights before she went missing. Detectives are aware of their recent contact and believe Roth could provide important information to help locate Linda. Jay Roth steps into the interrogation room of his own accord, having requested a voluntary interview. He is informed that he is not under arrest and retains the freedom to leave at any time during the interview.
I can say now that he is a killer from, hindsight, because I've seen the thumbnail and read the title, but that does seem like a bit too, pushy to immediately ask for an interview. I mean, I guess a natural friend would want to talk to the police if the friend were missing or killed.
Last night was about 3:10 I left.
Is that a box of tissues and toilet roll? God damn, it gets messy in there, doesn't it?
Garbage. In the man and took that. And then when I got back to the house, I texted her. Made it home okay, because obviously she's worried about me. So I called this morning. She didn't answer. She does that all the time, though. Not answer. So, but I don't know.
I have no idea how these guys with these channels add subtitles, because I can barely understand what they're saying because of the god-awful cheap microphones on the cameras.
He appears honest, genuinely concerned, and eager to assist. Roth's earnest expressions and cooperative attitude paint a picture of someone deeply invested in finding Linda quickly. This urgency is because the chances of locating a missing person safely decrease as time progresses. Statistically, the first 24 hours are crucial. The likelihood of finding a missing person alive diminishes with each passing hour, raising concerns about their well-being. Roth's apparent eagerness to find Linda quickly could be interpreted as aligning with these facts.
Yeah, that's true.
Stressed out a little bit about these guys who've been coming over this. One guy particularly.
Who's that she was stressed about?
I think if they did the Floyd guy. They come in the house.
That Floyd Mayweather, always fighting.
He's a black male named Floyd.
I saw him one time, but I don't know what. He came in the house.
You don't know Floyd's last name?
No, not at all.
So what did she say about that she was stressed out about?
Oh man.
I'm really excited for this breaking point where the guy realized that it's him. He's like, oh, wait a second. I'll just step out for a second.
Somebody went out and then that fool ass, he come back over and he was drunk. Is what they said. I don't know if he was or not.
So what do you think? What do you think happened?
I don't know. Anything could happen with that neighborhood there. It's a bad neighborhood. There's all kind of
there. In his defense, in this innocent guy's defense, the place did look a bit, like crackhead-ish, if that's even the word. It looked very, not a good place.
That the concerns surrounding Linda's disappearance could be overstated. He employs this strategy to assess Jay's true level of anxiety. Is Jay genuinely as troubled as he appears? Or is his display of concern merely a facade to conceal his own involvement?
No.
Do you think that she
left? I thought that was blood, but no, it's just a very bad pattern on the couch.
Okay. Are her dogs still there?
As far as I know, they were all lined up.
Could they still be there, you think?
I think so.
Okay.
Jay made a revealing mistake. His claim that she wouldn't abandon her dogs caught the detective's attention. At that moment, there was no possible way for him to know that
poor
the
dog.
dogs were still in the apartment. That statement alone has now made Jay turn from a concerned friend to a person of interest in this investigation.
So you guys are good friends.
Man, I have no idea how the guy caught that. If I was in that situation, I would just be writing down all the stuff he said and doodling my own tic-tac-toe game I would play with myself and lose. Like, that statement alone really just flew over my head. And I guess it's now, I guess it's like the domino effect where it leads to a bunch of other like mistakes he makes while talking, which is only natural if you purposely go into an interview and talk a lot, and all they need is one like mistake to peer into and immediately start asking you more questions, which even if you're like really prepared and confident, like you don't break under stress, that's gonna lead to you on slipping on one detail that leads to other mistakes that are gonna be like, oh, but you said this, like they're gonna cross-reference every little thing that you say. So I wanna see now like what's the next mistake he makes that makes the guy suspicious of him.
You had a little bit of in a relationship, maybe having sex on occasion. Is that what you're talking
Yes.
about? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had any physical violence? No hitting, pushing, shoving, nothing at all like that? So just some verbal arguments is all.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to do with her being gone?
No.
His face looks red.
So when I
Okay, you can push back the camera a bit. It's
Just a
okay.
second. Step out and I'll be right back, okay?
I like to imagine that one scene, like the CCTV footage really zoomed in, like 10 feet long scope.
Remains missing, and the likelihood of finding her alive is diminishing rapidly. Then, unexpectedly, Jay shows up again at police headquarters.
And there he is, main man.
there are a couple, three things actually. Her ex, he beat her, pulled her hair. She come down to the house one morning after he'd be sitting on her and tried to shoot her up and missed and threw her in the spot. So, and she always had bruises on her arm. We grabbed her. So one time,
He seems to be like quite prepared the first time, but now it feels weird to like suddenly come out of nowhere on the second day and be like, yeah, I forgot to mention that her ex beat her, shot her, tried to kill her. Like, where was this information on the first day when we really needed it?
Roger was there. And he stayed about a week or so. But the police came to the door and he hid in the bathroom because he was wanted. They said, I don't know his last name or anything else. I told her, you got too many weirdos coming over and stuff like that. I'm just putting things out there as possibilities I was thinking.
At this stage, the detective is becoming increasingly skeptical of Jay's narrative. He's constructing a story with several possible suspects, which appears to be a strategic attempt to steer any suspicion away from himself.
You asked if I've ever hit her or she hit me. I haven't. But there was one occasion when I was I took her over to see this guy she wanted to see. Drop her off, but he wasn't home. I said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to take you home. I don't want to go home. I said, well, I'm not going to let you out here. I want out. Like, I said, don't jump out here. Let me take you home. And she reached over to grab the horn in my hand. I went up like this, and it went in her mouth. She thought I got her. It was accident completely.
Linda lodged a formal complaint against Jay, alleging assault predicated on her refusal to consent to sexual intercourse.
Oh.
Upon becoming aware
How
of
was
the
this?
ongoing police investigation into these allegations, Jay proactively returned to the police station with the intention of clarifying his side of the story.
Well, now that looks more suspicious because you really want to clear up those allegations that you want to go in there
Because of
intentionally.
that, she thought I was doing something, but I wasn't. But then we talked afterward, it was okay. But she wasn't afraid of me for that.
What do you say to some of these people that kind of have said that she's scared of you, that you've been violent with her?
I haven't been violent with her, and I don't know where that comes from.
You don't know why those people would say that? Because the biggest hang up today, because we've talked to so many people, and there's no trace of her or anything after you leave the house a little after 3. How do we, I mean, where do we go from there?
What is that?
Hang on 1 second, I'll be right back. We'll get you out of here in just a minute, okay?
Following his second interview, Jay was again released to return home, as the authorities found no compelling evidence to justify his continued detainment. Although Jay may perceive his repeated
That
release
was still
as
a
a sign
little bit
of
more
innocence,
awkward than the first time.
innocence.
I mean, of course, they're not gonna keep him in the station for an extra day. Typically he was suspicious, but I don't know, still.
Is actually increasing. 3 days later, Jay Roth was called in again to the police station to undergo a polygraph test. For someone eager to
that?
help, like in the case of a missing friend, agreeing to a polygraph can demonstrate their concern and willingness to cooperate.
What's a
Realizing
polygraph?
this, Jay Roth has agreed to take the polygraph test.
Jay, I'm the polygraph examiner here with the police department. They called me so that
I'm gonna shove my finger up your ass.
polygraph exam in reference to their investigation with Linda. I'll walk you out. Hold on. If you look straight ahead for me, Jay, I'll get you dialed back in and we'll begin.
My God.
Are you physically responsible?
Probably just a different variant of a lie detector test. That's what I want to say.
2012. Did you physically remove Linda Riley from her residence on February 27, 2012? Did you physically cause the death of Linda Riley on February 27, 2012?
What's that on his nose? It looked like a gas mask kind of thing.
In the first 2 interviews, Jay came across as surprisingly relaxed. He sat back in his chair,
But now he was sweating bullets.
friendly demeanor. However, as the investigation evolved and Jay was looked at as a prime suspect, the gravity of his
Oh, damn.
situation
In only 3 interviews?
to have dawned on
Damn.
him. Jay
They get it done
sits alone,
fast.
waiting for the results of his polygraph test to arrive. He looks completely dejected and worn out. Moments later, the detective enters the interrogation room. The detective updates Jay on the investigation, explaining that search warrants have been issued for his van and home.
Well, we got the results back, Jay, and it's kind of what we both knew. You failed it pretty bad. So, yeah. So let's just cut to the chase. Tell us what happened. Let's get this over with. It's been a long day for us all. Our crime scene technicians, they're out at your house. They've been serving a search warrant at your house pretty much all day. And there's some more stuff that's been...
You can tell the guy's just tired, like, okay, I can tell where the story's going. You're the killer. I'm not gonna waste any more
There's
time.
going to be some explaining to do. And I'm going to be curious about what kind of deal you're going to come up with now.
You didn't even try.
It's over with. Quit these games. We know something happened. How it happened, I don't know. And that's what I'd like is your reason. Did she come after you? You know, maybe something happened that wasn't good. Whatever it is we need to know, Jay.
Oh my
You
God.
need to tell us.
I feel like I'm missing one big detail because out of nowhere, it's just 3 interviews, which I don't know how long it took between that span of time, probably like 3 days. But even then, just out of nowhere being like, okay, I'm sick and tired of your shit. Just tell me what happened and I can go home to my family and just jack off in bed. I mean, if I was a police officer and I was that confident, I'd be more worried about getting like the wrong guy in a situation. Because it happens a lot where they, right off the bat, they feel like they have the guy like arrested, but then they realize like they got the wrong guy after all. And if they just wait like a little bit more time or like interview someone else, they would have like actually found the guy that did it. But at the same time, in this situation, if you only got one guy showing up to interviews at the police station, and he's the only guy that has like somewhat weird like evidence against himself that shows he's the killer, or just involved in the kidnapping, then I can see why you just want to get out of the way like quickly.
A mistake occurred. We all make them. Okay? And that's all that it was, Jay. That's all that it was. It was a simple mistake.
You're
One that
if the guy gets really close to you, like, okay, listen, you can trust me. I know you did it.
it was a mistake. It was a freak occurrence. Okay? That's what it was. It's just a freak occurrence. I know that's what it was. It just was a freak thing, wasn't it?
A freaky thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Even after the confession, there's a concern that Jay would change his mind in the future. and claim that this was a false confession made under duress. Therefore, the detectives need Jay to lead them to the body, providing physical evidence that the murder did, in fact, take place.
We were talking on the couch and something.
And some, I don't know.
Get along just fine, and all. And we were talking about her getting out of there, like I said. And I don't know. Just things happen. Didn't mean to do anything. So why are you having people stay over that are hurting you and like that? Or she got mad and like said she done talk. I guess scuffled a little bit and stuff. Banged her head. So I took it over to the house. So I guess she would have mattered than what I thought of her. And she went and just smacked me. I said, you don't need to be doing that stuff like that. She tried to holler at me. And I smacked her and she fell and hit her head. I guess she didn't come around.
Yes, she did.
It hurts me so much, man.
No, it does. No, it does.
So you're really truly caring. You do it.
Wait, did he say I know it does, or did he say no it doesn't? Because that feels more
Throughout the
mean.
interviews, Roth consistently discusses his affection and admiration for Linda, asserting his role as her protector. However, an underlying theme of control and coercive behaviour becomes evident.
Ooh.
In the aftermath of Linda's death, Roth's actions further complicate the narrative.
Where'd you take her, Jay?
The last place we went, Aldrich.
Aldridge.
Burned her.
Buried her.
Burned
You burned her.
her. Couldn't even watch that. I didn't know what to do.
Is she still out there?
What's left?
What's left?
Yeah.
Are her bones still out there?
I don't know. I wouldn't do anything.
Did you take any of her bones with you? No? What would you think about taking us out there and showing us exactly where it is? That way maybe we can... I figured you would. I think you're right.
He's being like a teacher, like I think you're ready, you know, to go to jail, you know, being affirmative.
How about I get you some water? I'll get you a cup of water real quick. I'll take a quick run.
In his mind, the police officer is probably happy, like, okay, finally, we don't have to worry about wasting more time on this case.
A week following Linda Riley's disappearance, Jay Roth led the police to the site where he incinerated her remains. Roth faced charges of felonious restraint, kidnapping, and second-degree murder. The second-degree murder charge was due to the lack of premeditation, not meeting the criteria for first-degree murder. During sentencing, Roth's attorney argued that a maximum penalty of only 10 years should apply because of his client's age and ill health, but the circuit court judge firmly disagreed, saying Roth was a danger to women and children. In
Oh, come on.
July
Women maybe, but
2013,
kids?
Roth
Come
was
on.
sentenced to life imprisonment in Missouri, which means 30 years. He must serve 40% of that sentence, making him 78 before he is eligible for parole.
That's the end. God damn, oh, what a story. I mean, this video was only 16 minutes, and most of these videos I've seen, of interrogation videos, they're way longer, so I feel like there might be some details that he missed. Like, I really want you to see, what part of the polygraph test did he miss, because he just showed a short clip of it, but I feel like that was, the real catalyst for the interrogation guy to be okay, he might be the suspect that actually caused all of this. Because all I saw in the clip was just the guy being did you kill her? And the guy stood there no, I did not. And that might have caused some, some neurons in his head to set off the test and make it seem like he was guilty. which it was. I'm not debating that he wasn't, because, you know, the video ended. The story was back in 2012, like, and he's already in prison now, so it's not like there's any debate of if he was innocent or not. I want you to see, like, what are the details that the interrogation guy noticed that made him really suspicious of him. I want you to be, because he seemed really confident. I mean, after the third interview, he was like right off, just being quickly like, okay, I know you did it. Just give me the confession and then tell me what's the body, and then we'll just send it to court and be done with it, you know, fast. He's probably one of those guys in the station that purely does this every day. Not every day, but often. To the point that he can really notice a small part that can just like set the case on one side and lets him know immediately like who's the suspect. Which I feel is kind of instinct that you only get after like having hundreds of these interrogations with just miserable people that just kill their friends, but they're bad at lying, so you can just like see through them and tell like they did it. But man, that's really miserable. Going to the station every day to like interrogate people and just make them admit that they did it when you know from the very start or early on that they clearly killed their friends and just lying about it. That should be soul crushing, God.